Okay, welcome back. Welcome back to the stream. I started a new stream because we are playing a new game. I figured just wanted to mix it up a little bit. Wasn't having too much fun with the slog of the episode, so I'm gonna pick it up with some Sunless Sea. And I have, as you'll see here, the Submariner DLC, but I don't know if we'll actually get into that. We shall see. And I've only dipped my toes into the Sunless Sea a little bit. I have a friend, Sparrow, that loves this game, plays it a lot. I'm a big fan of Failbetter games, and I wanted to play it on stream for a while now, and I figured, why not? Let's make sure my captions are working. There we go. We still have last stream kind of showing there in the chat, but we have a new live chat. So we're gonna start a new game. These are big crabs. I like the art. Three decades ago, in the reign of Victoria, London was stolen by bats. Now it lies a mile below the surface. It was dreadfully inconvenient for everyone, but it opened a vast black ocean to you. Welcome to the undersea. Choose a past or decide later. Let's choose a past. You now lodge in a room above the blind helmsman. Where do you hang your hat in London? Street urchin? Who was I before I was a captain? Street urchin. Your urchin gang cast you out when you grew too tall. You took to the sea rather than graduate to larger crimes, but the last big score was enough to buy a ship. Poet? Your long-banished father had a rich patron, it seems. Veteran of the campaign of 68, you fought in the invasion of Hell. London's army is lost. You survived. Your loot and your pension have bought you a command. Okay, an ordained priest or a natural philosopher. Let's say we fought the invasion of Hell. That'll give us bonus to iron, the skill of causing direct damage. Stern and exacting. They will not trifle with you. You promised a job to your acquaintance, the shady cook, and he'll do until you find someone less disgusting. Talk to him to find out why he went to sea. You were a weary soldier, now you're a sea captain. I'm no longer a stranger. Welcome to the world. I've gained 20 echo, 25 iron, a shady cook, and someone is looking for passage. Choose an ambition. Was my father lost at sea? Do I look for immortality? Fulfillment, wealth, or a private kingdom? Huh. I kinda want to choose this one just because I've only played the game a little bit, but I haven't played a lot of, I haven't explored any of the DLC. That could be something. That could be something. Let's do that. Paul Tales. The Presbyterian guards its secrets fiercely, but amidst the clamor and beer stains of the blind helmsman, a salt-scarred navigator is telling tales of the continent's deepest interior, of a city called Nida, the origin of the presbyter's long life. Where is he getting his information? Bring wine. He is susceptible to wine. You will find the navigator in your first clue in London. I am captain. Will do perfectly well ashore as well as the sea. Thank you. Okay. Do we want to stay a captain? Captain Ghost. Where's my shift on? Okay. Fallen London, deep, dark, and marvelous. All voyages start here, and this is where successful voyages end. So, London. We can adopt a Blummingen Gallivanter. Visit the Admiralty Survey Office. They'll pay for information from Z captains. Find out what and how. Investigate, report the ports, and gain port reports. And trade them here. Okay. If there's anything in particular they need, well, if we can be assured of your discretion. Speak to our agent there at this port. In return, we'll see that you're rewarded. So, retrieve strategic information from the Iron and Misery Company's funding station, somewhere not far from home waters. Okay. Okay. I don't need more crew yet. Blummingen Gallivanter? You extend your hand and the Blummingen leaps on. Its tendrils entwine with your fingers and it chitters quietly. It meets your gaze and bobs its dome in greeting. It is very small. Is it old enough for naval service? I'm pretty sure its mustache has been drawn on in pen in an attempt to look older. As you approach your ship's gangplank, the creature flutes and vibrates with apparent happiness. The bosun winces as you bring it aboard. That's funny. I can play with the ferret, the comatose ferret. A weary roll of the eye. Play, that eye roll says. Play. I played once in the happy warrens of London before you installed me in this floating coffin and made me eat dried food. Damn your play. It is an eloquent eye roll. Okay. Your lodgings. Read the morning paper. From the Unexpurged Gazette, the magazine formerly known as the London Magazine, the Spiteful Trumpeter. News. The Connaught is threatening war. They always are. London's colonies on the Cornelian coast want independence. They always do. The Undersea, the paper reports, has undergone another alteration. Not yet, it hasn't. You'd know. Oh, a promotional coupon from Miss Plenty's Provisioners for half cask of salt herring. You could use that. So I got some recent news and some supplies. Okay. This is advice. So I've looked through this a little bit. This is just advice for captains on captains will die. This is not the end. On exploration, on machines, on finding places to explore, on fighting, on stories, and I put the tutorial on as well. That's the word. Let me see if I can fix my camera just a touch. Oh no, I'm not visible. Go back to this. I don't care about smoothness or color spill. I don't care about the smoothness. Man. Because it's just an odd color. Let's try that. No, I'm still see-through. Well, that's what it is. Sundays it's not so bad because I have the light in front of me. But on days like this, in the winter especially, when it's so freaking dark, so early. Anyway, I'll sell this book. I gained 50 echo. Submariner tutorial. Travel to the southern coast and follow it east to find Port Carnelian. There you will learn how to convert your ship into a submarine. Be sure you're prepared for the journey. Someone in the dock wants to board your ship. Agree to carry August Travel Writer to Guider's Morn. He's prepared to pay handsomely for transport and is keen to commission your ship specifically. Okay. The August Travel Writer shakes your hand. His grip is distressingly strong. Sorry, I'm adjusting my mic here. Yeah, because you kind of need to see what's behind me anyway. So, this might work. I'll pay you 150 echoes when we arrive. Okay. Let's go to the shops and buy wine. So this is the tutorial about the shops and the echoes, which is our currency. Ambition. Death hath no more dominion. This is for our immortality that we want. The Blind Helmsman is a Wolfstack institution. A centuries-old pub held together by the crust of fry smoke and the nautical mementos nailed to the walls. When you enter, Salt-Scarred Navigator is already in full flow. A city deep in the interior. Nida, it's called. There they decide the span of every life. So I'm going to coax Tales of Immortality from him. Unlock that with a cask of mushroom wine, because I have one of those. Straight from the source. One bottle, he loosens his waistcoat. A second, he loosens his tongue. No, I never been to Nida, not in the flesh at least. He leans close. But I once tasted red honey, and memories of a man who had. I only saw fragments. An army at the walls. A breach. A rallying cry. Liberty, equality, eternity. A third bottle. Where could you taste these memories for yourself? Go to the Isle of Cats. Talk to the cat's chiefest claw. Ask about the far-traveled notary. But if you're wise, you'll do like me. Use what you learn to get free drinks. Immortalities for gods and monsters. Nice. Okay. Let's speak to the shady cook. He's not the most hygienic of officers, but he'll do until you find someone better. Why did you choose to go to Z? Sea of Lilies is somewhere to the east central undersea. Okay. So let's launch with E. We can move around and steer. What's down here? I discovered Department of Menace Eradication and the Echo Bazaar. Bugsby's Marshes. So let's go to Wolfstack Docks up here. We'll see what's up at the docks. Something awaits me back at the door. Well, let's look at the Wolfstack Docks first. Oh wait, this is just where I was. Okay. Collect messages from the Harbor Master. Something has changed in the 8th. No one wants to sign on. That's all for now. Another day, another great evening. Specialist Surgeon. Let's hire her on. Yeah, Surgeon. I want a better mascot. Let's speak to this and entertain the bum again, which is apparently ticklish. Nothing. There. Let's launch. So we came from Wolfstack Docks. Let's go north and see what we see. Adventure's Abyss. Hunter's Keep is what we've discovered. Fed the crew. Little Barnet discovered. Wastes. You gained a secret. Speak to your officers to improve your abilities. Combat. You've encountered an opponent. The red arc shows the range of your deck gun. Keep the enemy in range while your crew works out the firing solution. This will happen faster if you keep the enemy in your proud light. The deck guns will be highlighted as your crew makes progress towards a firing solution. Okay. Pirate Steamboat? 2-4. You're down. Let's see what we got. Fragments will give you secrets, and then you can take what you can and move on. House of Curiosities. A bolt of fabric. Shake it out a little and let it glimmer in the light. Parabola linen is a serpent placed behind mirrors. Parabola is the serpent placed behind mirrors, or someone made that up. But in that case, where do they weave the sleek and ambery glimmering cloth? Ooh. Davies Bay. Carissa's Point has been discovered. Let's actually pause for a second and speak to. Spend a secret to improve your hearts unless it's higher than 100. Does she wield a fork the way she feels a surgical instrument? The cooked flesh arrives still in its shell. From the claws, 8 legs, body, and head, she renders a dozen neat, bite-sized piles of shredded flesh, sutured with mushroom or pinned together with a needle of chitin. Perhaps she has missed a calling as a chef. She denies it. My mother was the child of a surgeon in the first city. You might say that the knife work runs in the family. There's a wicked, working smile at the corner of her mouth. Then there are rumors about my father. She would deny there's any truth in those. Let's get a secret to get more hearts. Most people think that the hard part of surgery is finding out what's wrong and taking it out, but any fool could do that. Ship's cook with a cleaver can have part of the job. The hard part is cutting so that you can sew it back up again afterwards. She demonstrates on a shark fin, leaving it in better condition than it started. Interesting. Okay. Ooh, I'm low on supplies. I gotta find another port. Vendor bite. Let's see what's at vendor bite and if I can get food. I can go to ports for stories. And the tomb colony at vendor bite. One of the tomb colonists takes an obvious interest in your crew, specifically the Cladry heir. A dapper gentleman lounges by a dry fountain, admiring a frostmouth with glimmering in his eyes. Ah, I need a submarine travel. Let's see. The tomb colonist draws you a little way away from the Cladry heir. Don't tell her you met me. Her mother cut my voice. Hoped to fix so that I wouldn't be able to look for my daughter. So I wouldn't want to. Didn't work. Operations never completely effective. Need to know my daughters well. Happy. Finding enough patience. Getting enough to eat, and so forth. In exchange for the simplest news, he explains to himself, I'm her father. Ordinary engineer. Not the sort of parent she would want. If you wish to tell the heir about this encounter, you can do so by speaking with her. I kind of do. Maybe I can't because I just talked to her. Speak to Chase the Blummigan from the engine room. Okay. So let's explore. Ooh, let's gather gossip. Got a port report. Along the coasts of the Undersea, it's remarkably hard to die. The decrepit and nearly dead who leave London become tomb colonists and settle here in bandaged peace. But they don't give up their ties to home or their politics. You gather a haul of complex clues, enough to keep your contacts in London interested. Shops. Supplies. Oh, man. Recent news, I can sell that. Oh no, okay, it's back. Ooh, I could have sold a tomb colonist. Recent news, that'll get me 10 echoes. Okay. Let's explore Vendor Bite. Here, they favor candlelight over gaslight. The shadows are swagged like cobwebs. Tomb colonists stand still enough to be mistaken for sculpture, and until they laugh or cough. One building in 3 seems abandoned. Captain, I'm a good Zeman. I'm yours if you'll have me. Will you have me? I'm hungry. I'll work hard. Could use the extra hand. You won't be sorry. I'll work double watches. Ask anyone. They'll tell you I have a good name. His enthusiasm is promising if a little pitiable. He's done good work, this one, but he's keeping a little shrine to the salt, the nameless god of the horizon, on the back of the hold. I'll permit it. You let him keep his salt circle and his chalked arrow. That night you stand on the foredeck and a soft breeze comes from the east. The salt's direction. Tousles your hair. Passes. Okay. Let's go back to London, perhaps. We've discovered a ton of chip. Who's that? Oh wait, we're going down here. Cat swarm. Okay, we killed the bat. Did I get anything from it? Gather up the corpses. This will slightly reduce terror if I dispose of it. Into the pot. Gained supplies, but gained terror. That's understandable. I'm gonna send out the Z-Bat to discover places nearby. No islands within range. We're in home waters, though. I don't know how I'm gonna get more supplies and fuel. Let's dock the ship. Reduced error to 0. Okay. Little gift. You might call my mentor is very fond of adventurous sea captains and would like to offer you what you might call a dispensation. On account of he is so fond of sea captains. Ooh, fuel and supplies. I'm not even gonna question it. Got 10 fuel, 5 supplies, accepted a proposal, and I got 1 menace's suspicion. Oh, you rapscallion. An urchin tugs at your sleeve. Governor wants a word. A brooding figure waits at a lamplight's ledge. I have need of a reliable agent. Failing that, an inventive one. Here are my requirements. He has very specific needs, but he'll pay much better than market rates, and he won't ask how you came by these things. Harvest it in Wither to the north along the coast. 700 echoes. For something spicy. For something perilous, they sell these at Mount Palmerston, somewhere in the north of the Untersea. 500 for 7 barrels of the things. You won't find a better price. Huh. Let's read the morning paper. I gained supplies and recent news. London. Let's go to the survey office. Vanderblight. 10 echoes. 1 favor with the Admiralty. And I got fuel. Survey 3 ports in return to earn the Admiralty's approval. Okay. Shops. Ooh, sell for 60. I don't know. We are clay. What is this? Interesting. Sure. I have no clue what he said. Okay. So, someone wants to sign on. Someone wants to sign on. On later visits, different officers will sometimes be available. If there's more than one choice, you can choose one per visit. Doctor. No. Perhaps not. Okay. So I think we're gonna go south this time. We've got fuel, we've got food. What is this over here? What's a dock here? Light ship. Let's speak to the crew. We got a Z story. Any echo? Let's keep going this way. Well provisioned. Mutton Island. Quaker's Haven. Okay, so I can stop here. This once simple fishing village was part of the London suburbs before London fell and the waters rushed in. Unlocked with one terror. Mascot. I don't want to spend 3 supplies to get another mascot. Chat to the fisherman. Let's get a port report. Money echo for fuel. I got enough fuel. Let's get drinks. Trees of the Neath are scraggly and wretched, scraping a living with parasites. But the apples of Mutton Island are tart and powerful, perfect for cider. Cider? Cider. This stuff is stronger than it looks. Okay. I am serene. Nothing else I want to get. Low Barnet is a place I can go to? Interesting. I didn't see that. Let's go. Let's go get our crab. Probably I'll get supplies from that, right? Dissect it for knowledge. Ooh, pages. Butcher it for supplies. I need supplies. You've lost 28 hunger. Ooh. Which way are we going now? I'm gonna follow the coast here. We're in a fog bank. which is increasing our terror a little bit. Okay. I've gained a secret and I've discovered the command canal. Most people think, so I've gained new heart. Huh. Oh, wait. Proposition? No caresses. She undresses you and stands scowling at you as if choosing where to make an incision. Interesting. I've begun an affair with the Gladry heir. You have fraternized with one of your officers. You have lost 4 terror. I guess why not? Can I dock here? Albertine Gates. There's a port area. Giannotti Harbor. The canal ascends through locks and gates and shadowed turns to the sunlight of the surface. Gather information for a port report. Perfunctory port report. Listen for surface gossip. A card game ends badly when one surface sailor knifes another for all the usual reasons. The other players scrabble for coin that spill from her pockets, but you snatch up a scrap of paper they overlook. Curious markings, dates, times, code names, spyware. Moves for the great game. The nations of Europe and beyond compete for influence. Their plots reach even to the Neath. The Admiral and the diplomat, among others, will be interested to hear this. Oop, I will be right back. Hello, welcome back to the stream. I'm going to be playing for just a little while longer, and then wrapping it up for the night. Where were we? We're not traveling up to the surface. Gotta launch. Giannotti Harbor. What is more south? No islands in the area. Oh yeah, let me actually show you what I'm playing. Sunless Sea. Not a whole lot so far. Sizzling vapors rise from the sea. Time slips sideways, a coil of rope has stung a stoker. We are under the hand of the Iron Republic. Adam's Doom? Let's go away from that. Visage. What is Visage? Flourishing of years. Gained a secret. Kapalka code. Okay. What's Kapalka code? The impossible scent of pine. Let's see about that. Dock. This is the port of Visage, where faces may not be naked. Create port report. A departing merchant gives you a confused account of crocodiles and honey cakes and something about air blockage. To this you add your own impressions about the street layout close to the port and the types of commerce here. When the lights are especially bright, it's possible to make out the details of the profile of that great stone face. Once you set foot on Visage, you may be here a little while. The sign is visible only after you've crossed the threshold. All those who enter must play their parts. On the lower slopes, stone buildings, flat roofs, archways, and the architecture there lingers a memory of lotus and palm frond. The hill above is a face, forever looking up at the ceiling of the undersea. No one inhabits its cheeks or the hollows of its eyes. Check in at the customs house. One may not wander Visage at will. All visitors must pass one by one through a room guarded by a person in the mask of the moon moth. Changing. Masks for an assortment of shapes and colors. Maybe there's more to it than a question of aesthetic taste. Moonmoth explains. Each mask declares a different intention towards the denizens of Visage, and must be accompanied by suitable behavior. The frog is for visitors who, though perhaps clumsy and unfamiliar with local etiquette, have come in order to observe local ways and make uncouth comments about them. The locust is for those who seek profit in Visage and would carry away as many goods as possible. Be prompt about the bat. Bat is an ill-omened visitor. Sent as a messenger or a spy. Bat always dies. frog mask. I am here for knowledge. Visit the Library of Parts. Visit the Flood Court. Let's stoop at the lintel, enter the dark. A room of heavy stone guarded by a golden statuette of a woman with outstretched arms. The scroll niches a sort of sorted to correspond to a variety of masks. The jackal and the lioness, the crocodile and dung beetle. A woman in the mask of the lotus blossom is standing at a lectern, her mate, reading in silence. Moonmouth stands to one side as your escort and tour guide. What's the purpose of this room? What parts are they? People think it means something like Library of Fragments, but this is wrong. The parts in question are like parts in a play. This is where the denizens of Visage come in order to learn how to perform their masks more accurately, more completely, with a truer spirit. Write notes in the margins? Or study the scrolls in a bumbling way. Parts guarded. Taking the nearest. You read it aloud. Regarding against the loss of the heart. Expertise and parts. A knowledge of the roles and how they are to be played. Learning will have more complex effects. Visit the Flood Court. High water. The Flood Court is a long stone room with 2 ranks and column on each side. Currently, this court is ankle deep in water. The water stains on the stone show that the flood has often reached higher, sometimes up to the height of your waist. In a raised niche at the far end of the room sits a statue of a man. Raised niche? Far end of the room that sits a statue of a man with the head of a ram. He holds a jar from the water, flows out onto the floor. What's the purpose of this room? From the corner, Moonmoth picks up a graduated stick. He shows you how a person standing at the end of the room may dip the stick into the water and use it to measure the water level at a pre-selected point, and how the measurements are compared to the measurements written on a calendar. If the water level does not match the calendrical position, an assembly of pipes and drains is used to adjust it. It used to be that the water rose and fell of its own accord, and the people before wrote down what the height it had reached. Now the water is still, but thanks to their actions we can replicate the rise and fall, so as still to be pleasing for the god of flood. Tastelessly compare this room to other bodies of water. Frogs know water. Have you seen the Command Canal? Other denizens move away from you and toward one another. Your social function is well performed. You've gained 1 visage expertise in parts. You have a new total of 2. Okay. I can leave the island now. I kind of want to leave. You say farewell to the moon moth. It makes gestures you now recognize as agitation. Perhaps there was some other plan for you here, but no one consulted you about it. You have other things to attend to. Okay. Interesting. Let's speak to you. Speak to you. Let's see what is down here. Or should we go back to London? Got supplies, right? Fed the crew. Isle of Cats. Where's Isle of Cats? Isle of Cats is this way. I want to go to Isle of Cats. Here we go, Isle of Cat. Port Cavendish. Scatter of yellow lit honey dens and brightly painted alehouses. To the southeast rise the stone tower of Cavendish Abbey, its ramparts hung with crimson and gold banners. There are sailors from all across the Neath hauling cargo, dicing and brawling good-naturedly on the docks. A radical welcome. Would you like to bribe me to not write down your details in this nice official ledger? Pirate King's notice. Where can you taste red honey? No more than 4. Port report. Let's get a port report. Was that a Canadian Tamaritan nestled beside the vessel of the Iron Republic? Caddies talk ceaselessly and carelessly about smuggling and piracy, but even the most hardened sailors lower their voices when they mention the king. Huh. Banner's luck. An emaciated man in lion-colored robes clutches your sleeve. Please, I'm damned. I can't touch the truth. Take this. He points to an unpromising-looking crate sitting beside a bollard. The sun orders time. Do you see? Down where we can only touch time with our fingers. The devils know that. In Aram. In Aram. His eyes well with tears. Abruptly, he turns and plunges into the crowd. You're left with the crate. Interesting. Something pleasant will happen. Where can you taste red honey? The salt-scarred navigator said he tasted memories of a failed expedition against an immortal city. Where's the one who gave it to him? Isery, the cat's chiefest claw. The reports are all the same. Isery manages the honeyed tongue, the den of exceedingly select and debased pleasures. You'll have to win their favor if you're to taste the honey. Yeah. Got 2 menaces. The Rose and Tiger. The alehouse's sign is a tiger painted the color of rose petals. Someone has gone to great trouble to expense and gild the creature's eyes. They look over the port, feral and unseeing. Significant tokens, clandestine doings, religious observance, or leave the alehouse. cat's eyes. The Pirate King. As far as you can gather, the Pirate King's name is Leopold, and he controls all the trade on the island. Half the caddies believe that he can take the form of a crimson tiger and creep into their dreams. The other half suspect more prosaically that he simply eats those who displease him. Everybody wears the cat's eyes here. Just a friendly reminder that the Pirate King is watching. Interesting. Honeyed tongue. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do... No, I don't want to do that. So I'm going to wrap it up here because I have been playing for another hour. I'm going to be playing some more of a variety of games, I think, on Tuesdays. And on Sunday, I do have an art stream. So if you would like to support my art or support the games that I play, if you'd like to help me collect together some funds for my cat's medical bills for a cardiology follow-up that she needs, that I have not been able to get to her yet. She had her regular vet appointment and it went okay, but the cardiology is the big one. So yeah, I am ArtGhosts, ARTGH0STS. You can follow me on Blue Sky, YouTube, Twitch, all those places. And I want to give a shout out to my Patreon members. Past and present, you guys are awesome. Anyway, have a good night, and I will see you